Okay. So, it is very cold, windy, and just blah outside. And I thought it would be fun to go over one of my Pinterest boards. Because Pinterest is basically like the only social media I have, and I've basically cultivated it to being like a Tumblr, if that makes sense. So, I wanted to go over my Avatar The Last Airbender one, just because I wanted to laugh today, and I know that the Avatar one will make me laugh. I'm also sitting on the floor right now, so Callie thinks that this is playtime. So I apologize in advance. I also have a Legend of Korra section, I guess, attached to this, but I don't really want to go over that one right now because I'm not as attached to Legend of Korra as I am to Avatar. So we're just going to start from the top and work our way down. So first one. Oh yeah, I think I actually just saved this one today. It says Zuko, fugitive or not, it's nice to be wanted. I wrote in the background like, Zuko, it's a damn law that's chasing you, you're a criminal. Zuko, uncle, they want me. Fugitive or not, it's nice to feel wanted. Alright, what's the next one? The funniest part about Zuko joining the gang is that Zuko has never once chilled in his entire life, in his entire dishonorable life, and he shows up. Let me try to adjust this so that I can have them be right here. Okay. He has never once chilled in his entire dishonorable life, and he shows up expecting the gang to match that righteous intensity and be skilled and deadly masters of evasion and prowess after having avoided being captured for so long. But instead what he gets is this ragtag group of goofy kids who technically are skilled and deadly masters of evasion and prowess, but who also want to go on vacation and make sandcastles like 1.5 days before Sozin's Comet. Because that is a real thing that happens. Remember when Aang was going to stand trial for a murder Kyoshi committed, and they found all this evidence that proved that Kyoshi couldn't have done it, and it was all pretty solid that she shouldn't have even been near the murder when it happened, and they were going to prove her and Aang's innocence if they could just argue the defense, and then Kyoshi manifested during the trial and was like, nah, I killed that man. And peaced out, leaving Aang to get boiled alive just so she could take credit for it. That was a good episode. Oh yeah, underrated Sokka development that a lot of people missed. Because Sokka failed to protect Yue, he was very overprotective of Suki when they first met in the Serpent's Pass. He wouldn't allow her to get far away, unpacks her stuff for her, and is watching out for every possible threat that could harm her in any way. I do love that with the Avatar Renaissance that's happened since it got put on Netflix, Sokka has gotten a lot of love that he deserves. A lot of the love that he deserves now. Oh yeah, this was actually pretty cool. I just pinned this one the other day. Airbending spider sense. Aang sensing the flow of wind to save Sokka from the explosive beam behind them. Tenzin's beard shivers before he was ambushed by Equalist, but managed to take them out. Hypersensitivity is one of the coolest airbending skills. It really is. It really is. Like, if I could bend any of the elements, I think I'd want to bend air, just because of all the little nuances like that they get to do. Sokka is a badass, plain and simple. Water drive. And just a reminder, during Sozin's Comet, he was the guy who opted to go with Toph and Suki to infiltrate and sabotage the Fire Nation airship fleet to help out Aang when he inevitably shows up to take on Ozai. And when he does show up and takes out Ozai's ships, they proceed to destroy the rest. Never underestimate the guy who gave the Avatar universe submarines. Yes, thank you. Sokka, who is 15 and responsible for superpowered children. Sokka, who loves his friends more than anything because they are his family. Sokka, who gives up his boomerang and space sword to keep Toph safe. Sokka, who would rather let the firebenders burn him to ash than let go of Toph's hand. Sokka, who's still on his back and injured, looks the firebenders in the eye before they kill them. I don't think Boomerang is coming back, Toph. It looks like this is the end. This boy's last words were going to be a joke. His big brother instinct's kicking in because screw it all, Toph isn't going to die afraid. Not if he can help it. Sokka, who is the best big brother in the world. It really is. He really is. Oh yeah. Are we ignoring the fact that Sokka invented pyrotechnics, submarines, made air power relevant, and found a way to escape an inescapable Fire Nation prison in half a day? If you can't tell, a lot of Sokka appreciation going on here. Sokka, it's not that children make me uncomfortable, it's just that, why be a dad when you can be a fun uncle? I've never heard of anyone rebelling against their fun uncle. Bold talk from someone who knows Zuko personally. Stop making Sokka the dumb one in the fix and Zuko the smart one. Sokka invented submarines and Zuko asked his mentally unstable sister to shoot lightning at him. We all know the truth. Yes. I saw something, I don't think I pinned it, but it was like, Sokka is smart in dumb ways and Zuko is dumb in smart ways. Imagine having to travel the world with your little sister and two 12-year-olds who are all extremely powerful, traumatized, and stubborn, and you have very tangible goals with real stakes, but to get them to do anything, you have to know how to apply a very delicate touch. And you have to do that for months with absolutely no one to vent to. The fact that Sokka didn't lose every single shred of sanity he had is a testament to his fortitude and strength of character. I'm just saying. Can we talk about how Zuko's dramatic ass wore a full disguise and took extra specific security precautions to go find Appa? Meanwhile, Iroh just walked into like that Leo guy in normal clothes like it was no big deal. It's just a regular Tuesday. If Jet didn't die in like Leo guy, imagine how pissed he would be to find out that the new Fire Lord is Lee from the Jasmine Dragon. It would prove all his convictions correct, but he can't do anything about it because what are they gonna do? Arrest the Fire Lord for firebending? Zuko's life after he joined the gang was so wild though. Like he probably thought he knew what these kids were up to given that he had chased them for quite a long time, but he could not have been prepared for all that happened. I mean, within the span of a month, he found out an ancient firebending society was living in secret, discovered dragons still exist, broke into his ex-girlfriend's uncle's highly secured prison and managed to actually break out of it too. Learned that Sokka once dated the moon, though he probably never really figured out what that meant, just rolled with it. Learned that Katara is a bloodbender. Toph screws around and makes Pangea a thing again. She's like, I can't see on boats. Solution? Make sea travel obsolete. And no one stops her because they can't. Fire Lord Zuko wakes up at sunrise, but the sunlight is somehow coming in through the entirely wrong window, and there's like 50 messenger hawks screeching from down the hall, and he's like, you know what? I don't want to know, and goes back to sleep. Can you imagine how the whole energy bending scene must have looked to Sokka and Zuki? Sokka, oh my goodness, I think Aang's losing. You don't know that. Maybe red is Aang's color. You think the guy who was planning to genocide the entire world with fire has a blue aura? Like, what are you guys talking about? It's the same colors as his tattoos. Of course Aang is blue. Aang has tattoos. I think someone said that, Toph knows about Aang's tattoos because she mentions them or something. That would be funny if like all this time she just didn't know that he had tattoos. Zuko hasn't had any socialization with kids his age until he joins the gang, and Fire Nation royalty aren't really ones to make jokes, so Uncle Iroh's jokes are really the only sense of humor Zuko has been exposed to, and he thinks that that's just what's funny. My point is that Zuko thinks that Sokka is hilarious. I love that. I love how Aang is literally the avatar who saves the world, and Zuko is the broody bad boy prince of the Fire Nation, but Sokka is the one who's the canon heartthrob of the show. This man even pulls the moon. The moon! Like, good for him, honestly. I'm just the guy in the group who's regular. Kind of obsessed with the idea that the rest of the gang leaving Toph and Zuko to watch over some cooking food when they come back, it's burnt, and Katara starts fuming, but Toph and Zuko are like, we've never stepped inside a kitchen in our lives and only have one eye between us. If anything, it's your fault. I love Toph and Zuko, but they are fundamentally rich kids. Toph, if it bakes for 15 minutes at 350 degrees and it should only take 1 minute at 5,250 degrees, and Zuko's just like, I can do that. What? Where's your toy? Oh, wait. She's like, I can do that. Sokka, what is toothpaste if not bone soap? Every time you speak, I age another 50 years. That reminds me of that scene from Criminal Minds, like in season 1, whenever they're having to basically bodyguard that Lila, the really popular movie actress, and Spencer's bodyguarding her at her house, and she's wanting to go swimming, and she's like, come on, live a little. And he's like, Lila, live a little. I've known you 48 hours. I feel like I've aged 10 years. Okay, this is meant as no sort of offense, but I just found this funny. Having a boyfriend is like having a stupid son. Just like all the girls' reactions. Again, no offense meant whatsoever, but it's all in good fun. Sokka is a dumbass, but he isn't stupid. Anyone who doesn't understand the difference isn't allowed to write about him. I guess they're talking about like fan fictions. I don't think anyone will ask, so I'll explain. Sokka is incredibly smart. He can fix someone's totally wrong engineering project in 10 minutes and prove a scientific theory in 20. But common logic? Non-existent. What do you mean a lack of sleep is unhealthy? Bro, trust me, I can definitely wash ink out of this. Sokka's brain spits out a million ideas a minute. Some of them are world-altering. Some of them are absolutely terrible. It's Sokka's job to have the ideas. It's not Sokka's job to filter through them. There is no time for that when you are having 1 million ideas a minute. Sokka, if we use the force stored in the trees, we can catapult over the walls and make it into the city with relatively no interference. Also, Sokka, hee-hoo, peanut. This post makes it sound like he has ADHD, which would be a very interesting concept. Toph when the team Avatar left the app. In terms of Appa, we have no Appa. I mean, it was a lot more traumatic than that, but that was still kind of funny. How to summon the Avatar. Step 1, set up a cart selling cabbages. Step 2, that's it, just wait for him to show up. Cabbage Dude had better luck finding the Avatar than Zuko did in all 3 seasons. He really did, though. He really did, though. Anyone hurts Katara Aang, you boys are in for a world of hurt, both physically and metaphysically. My personal theory / headcanon is that the Avatar animal guide reincarnates alongside the Avatar, that way they can be together for all of their lifetimes. What was Kyoshi's animal guide? Probably a gun. Just a gun. Probably a gun. Zuko? So, I was right then. Alongside my decision was right. Zuko going into an angst coma because he made the right decision. That moment when you make so many bad decisions in life that your body thinks it's a virus when you finally do the right thing. Because that, like, this is obviously from the cartoons, but that actually happens in the show. I see your Earth Kingdom folks freaking out from Lee from that bangin' tea shop becoming the Fire Lord, and Reiju, the Fire Nation kids from the headband freaking out over that one transfer student who threw that cave party and then vanished, turning out to be the Avatar. Everyone, Zuko's transformation from the beginning was to the end is unmatched. Me, an intellectual. Dinner. Appa, hey, Momo, I'm coming for you, buddy. He had a really good redemption arc too, but it was just a lot more subtle. It's a lot more subtle. Fun headcanon that can go with either Zutara or Zuko is that Hidoka is really hesitant to see his child dating a Fire Nation prince, much less one who's going to become the Fire Lord, and so he's grilling the shit out of Zuko, asking him a million questions about his history and his plans for the Fire Nation and whether he's truly changed, and finally he's like, where'd you get that scar, kid? A bit reckless with your bending, maybe? And Zuko's like, oh, actually my dad lit my face on fire. And Hidoka's like, cool. So actually, on second thought, after much deliberation, are you perhaps in the market for a new dad? I'm all for Hidoka basically adopting Zuko. Yes. I know there's some fics about that already, but write more fics about that. AU where Jet doesn't find out that Zuko and Iroh are Fire Nation, and when he runs into the gang, he goes, oh, by the way, this is my new friend Lee. We met on the ferry right over here, and the gang and Zuko just like awkwardly stare at each other for a really long time. This is Aang, the Avatar, Katara says slowly. It's a pleasure to meet you, Zuko replies carefully. Don't you mean it's an honor? Sokka retorts. Zuko strongly considers breaking his cover just to murder Sokka right there. Wait, no way. There is no more embossing says an anime thing from Avatar. I thought it was a real thing, like a quote from some important literature that I had never heard of. That must have some sort of Marxist importance. But no, it's from a show about a kid with a pet buffalo. Are you suggesting that Avatar isn't important literature? The plot kicks off with a racial genocide justified by dangerously unchallenged nationalism, claiming militaristic expansionism is righteous. Ba Sing Se revolves around government conspiracy forcing isolation out of fear. Prejudice, sexism, spirituality versus science, everything from questioning if killing someone is ever right to blatant child abuse. About a kid with a pet buffalo, son, I will fight you! Those are all those big words. My favorite thing about Avatar: The Last Airbender is that when you're looking for an earthbending master for Aang and the school doesn't pan out, their second option is to go to a WrestleMania kind of thing to find him a teacher. I mean, if that isn't accurate 12-year-old thinking, I don't know what is. What's happening to me? Think back. That moment Zuko realized he had to be the good cop. Like, you can see it in his face. Easter egg, Aang actually demonstrates earthbending ability before meeting Toph. In this scene, you can see him digging a hole at superhuman speed. I'm saying I would rather kiss you than die. That's a compliment. Take a moment to remember that this guy thought during one of the most important battles in Fire Nation history, they were gonna have a birthday party for him. Honestly, iconic. Sokka really just accepts Zuko as a friend right away. He immediately just starts roasting him with jerk bending and hits his little dragon dance. Bless. Sokka was 100% on board for the friendship. Not because Zuko redeemed himself, but because Zuko was easy roast material. I can't stop thinking about how the only reason that the Fire Nation didn't manage to conquer and destroy the world is because Katara flipped a shit on her brother for making a sexist comment and stumbled upon Aang in the iceberg. To this day, I cannot believe Aang called up and blew off like 9 avatars just because they didn't offer any vegan options to ending the war. Roku, my best friend assaulted me as a senior citizen. Kyoshi, sometimes some murder is okay. Kuruk, just punch people that disagree with you. Aang, okay, I'm starting to think that none of you took this avatar thing seriously. That is actually something I'm pretty sure I said this in my last Avatar video, but I really appreciated that about the show, is that they made the main character like a pacifist. I love how when Zuko's anger was stripped away, he was just left with awkwardness as his main trait. Zuko's gone crazy. I made a sand sculpture of Suki and he destroyed it. Oh, and he's attacking Aang. Am I the only one who thought it was really important that the reaction here was Zuko's gone crazy rather than Zuko turned on us? I think it really showed the development of their relationship with Zuko. They trusted him so much that they were genuinely confused when he attacked Aang. It would have been understandable to assume that the worst, but they knew there must have been something wrong. Also, it's funny. Okay, so I screenshotted this moment because I thought it was pretty cool. The first time we get to see all 4 elements working together for a common enemy, blah blah blah. But I started laughing because Sokka's boomerang. Sokka threw a boomerang at a Princess Azula, renowned lightning bender, and heir apparent to the throne of the Fire Nation. And Sokka threw a boomerang at her. Zuko and Sokka on the way to their prison break. Zuko, so this is my war balloon. To get it to work, you have to... Sokka, oh, I know, I helped invent it. What? I helped invent it. At this point, I may as well call myself a complete and utter Aang stan. Zuko at Ozai during Day of Black Sun. AU where Zhao survives to see Zuko become Fire Lord, and in their first meeting after the fag, Zuko's like, I am the leader of a nation, and I will be a mature adult, and I will not insult you, but my friend can. Sokka, get in here. And he makes Zhao stand there while Sokka roasts him for like an hour. Zuko told Sokka about it like 2 days ahead of time, so he's had so much time to come up with the best jokes, the top roast, you know. But the thing is, he improvises and ad-libs a lot of them in there to, you know, just make it spicy, and just comes in there and lays in. He's gonna start with the mutton chops and work outward. The boys on their own, the boys together. I'm gonna send a note to Katara and say it was from Toph, who wants to apologize. Aang, the main protagonist, being not a strong, powerful man, but instead a small vegan monk boy who values peace and loves nature and flowers. You truly watch him grow up as the plot grows in terms of complication. I'd truly die for him. Sokka says Suki with the same exact inflection and level of enthusiasm that he says boomerang, and that's all you really need to know about him as a person. Someone pointed out that Zuko usually sleeps on his scarred side so he can hear better while he sleeps, and the only time he doesn't is when he's with people he trusts. Spain, but the S is silent. How strong is Zuko? Like, why do you even bother with your bending when you could just wham bam snap Aang's spine with a kick? Sokka, how are we gonna get in? Zuko, don't worry, I'm a master firebender. Smash his window. Imagine you knew a dude and you were pretty chill with him. Maybe you were friends, but you're not really sure. But one day he just starts attacking you and gets taken away by the cops and you never see him again. A few months later, you go to a play with your new group of friends and you find out via the play that he died. That's how Zuko felt watching Jet die in the Ember Islands Players episode. Zuko watching stage Jet play around in some trees with the original trio. Oh cool, I didn't know you guys knew Jet. I met him once on a trip to Ba Sing Se. We stole some food, got into the city, had a fight, and he was hauled off by the Dai Li, and I haven't seen him since. Zuko watching stage Jet brainwashed and die. What? Zuko's having a minor crisis here, and Sokka thinks he's just referring to the play. I never really thought about that before, but it makes sense. Rewatching Avatar episodes for reasons, and I just realized that Zuko found Appa the night after he found out he was missing. The Aang have been desperately searching for what? A few weeks? And Zuko sees a poster saying Appa is missing and just squares up and finds him immediately. What a madman! This is why they put him in charge of the Fire Nation. There is nothing Zuko cannot find, up to and including his country's long-lost sense of morality. I mean, he had already managed to actually find the Avatar, whom literally the entire world, except for Katara, had believed was dead and gone forever. I'm pretty sure if Zuko decides he's going to find something, the universe rearranges itself to put it in his path. This comes in handy when he has kids. The dude literally found the Avatar, Appa, his lost uncle via a sweaty sandal, a secret civilian thought to be long gone, the last 2 dragons existing, Katara and Sokka's father plus Suki, Katara's mother's murderer, his honor, his entire nation's honor. I mean, the dude was wild. He was born to find stuff. I don't really know if he found his mother, but like, that too? You kind of get why the gang saw Zuko and thought, hey, what if we use him to find stuff? He absolutely found his mother, and I cannot believe I'm just now noticing this whole concept. I get the Katara Zuko and even the Aang Zuko parallels, but I think the Sokka Zuko ones are pretty cool too. Both are the older brothers with powerful prodigy sisters who can do a lot more than them. Both have to learn to excel through their own methods, distancing themselves from their sisters' talents. Both have this big sense of honor and duty to their culture and people to who they desperately want to belong and protect. I wouldn't call them exactly narrative foils, but it's pretty fun to think about the points where their arcs meet and diverge. They are very similar, character-wise. I think one of my favorite realizations from my rewatch is how often Iroh was just vibing with the gang, even when Zuko was still trying to capture them. Pirate episode, Iroh's just standing right next to Katara going, yeah, this is kind of your fault. North Pole, Iroh's got a whole scene with Katara and Yue. He even gestures to her to stay away from Aang at one point, and she actually listens. Tea with Toph, man truly spends the whole show vibing with everyone, and I love him for it. Is that Zuko and Toph? Can I get some tea? Zuko and Jet fighting. Can I please get some tea? Listen, if Toph had went off on her own for a while and Bossing say there's no way she wouldn't vibe with Zuko. Welcome to Pal's Family Tea Shop. I'm Lee. What do you want? Chaos. Understandable. Sadly, that's not on the menu. Would you settle for a cup of jasmine tea? Sure. The thing I love about Aang and Sokka's friendship is that they're both very smart and clever and capable individually, but you put them alone in a room together and they immediately become the definition of my last 2 brain cells. There's no way we can trust you after everything you've done. We will never let you join you. One day later, Zuko, get over here. I want you to dance with me. I love that as soon as Zuko felt comfortable with the gang, he immediately started gushing about Iroh. My beautiful boy got friends for the first time in his life, and he made tea for them and tried to tell a joke and told them all about his favorite person in the whole world. It just makes me so happy that he got to have that. Sokka mastered all 4 non-bending styles from each nation. Like, that's pretty cool. Zuko really saw a bunch of sea hybrids dive into a hole and followed after them, huh? Oh yeah, this is what I was talking about right here. Sokka is smart in stupid ways and Zuko is stupid in smart ways. That's what I was talking about earlier. Okay, I think that's gonna be all I'm gonna do for today. Please let me know if you'd like me to go through some more of mine because I have a lot of Pinterest boards that are fandom themed. So yeah. But that's gonna be all for right now, so bye.